At this point, you have chosen the monster that you're going to fight, but we haven't yet described the battle. We're now going to look at a battle so that you can get some ideas for how professional writers would make this battle as exciting and nail-bitingly interesting as possible. The Basilisk, from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The basilisk was moving towards Harry. He could hear its heavy body slithering ponderously across the dusty floor. Eyes still tightly shut, Harry began to run blindly sideways, his hands outstretched, feeling his way. Harry tripped. He fell hard onto the stone and tasted blood. The serpent was barely feet from him. He could hear it coming. Now, the basilisk, you may remember, is a mythical beast that can turn anyone who looks at it to stone, a bit like Medusa. So at this point, it looks as though he doesn't have a chance. There was a loud explosive spitting sound right above him, and then something heavy hit Harry so hard that he was smashed against the wall. Waiting for fangs to sink through his body, he heard more mad hissing, something thrashing wildly off the pillars. He couldn't help it. He opened his eyes wide enough to squint at what was going on. The enormous serpent, bright poisonous green, thick as an oak trunk, had raised itself high in the air, and the great blunt head was weaving drunkenly between the pillars. So usually a hero might need some help from another creature in order to defeat a monster. As Harry trembled, ready to close his eyes, as if it turned, he saw what had distracted the snake. Fawkes the Phoenix was soaring around its head, and the basilisk was snapping furiously at him with fangs long and thin as sabres. Fawkes dived. His long golden beak sank out of sight, and a sudden shower of dark blood spattered the floor. The snake's tail thrashed, narrowly missing Harry, and before Harry could shut its eyes, it turned. Harry saw that both its great yellow bulbous eyes had been punctured by the phoenix. Blood was streaming to the floor, and the snake was spitting in agony. But the hero is still going to need a weapon in order to defeat the monster himself or herself. The blinded serpent swayed, confused, still deadly. Fawkes was circling its head, piping his eerie song, jabbing here and there at the basilisk's scaly nose as the blood poured from its ruined eyes. Help me, Harry muttered wildly. Someone, anyone. The snake's tail whipped across the floor again. Harry ducked. Something had hit his face. The basilisk had swept the sorting hat into Harry's arms. Harry seized it and rammed it onto his head and threw himself flat on the floor as the basilisk's tail swung over him again. Something very hard and heavy thudded onto the top of Harry's head, almost knocking him out. Starting winking in front of his eyes, he grabbed the top of his hat to pull it off and felt something long and hard beneath it. A gleaming silver sword had appeared inside the hat, its handle glittering with rubies the size of eggs. And whenever you're writing about a battle, we need the rule of 3. 2 failures and then success. Harry was on his feet ready. The basilisk's head was falling, its body coiling around, hitting pillars as it twisted to face him. He could see the vast bloody eye sockets, see the mouth stretching wide enough to swallow him whole, lined with fangs as long as his sword, thin, glittering, venomous. And watch for the rule of 3 here. It lunged blindly. Harry dodged and it hit the chamber wall. It lunged again, and its forked tongue lashed Harry's side. He raised the sword in both hands. So we've had 2 lunges now, and finally the third one. The basilisk lunged again, and this time its aim was true. Harry threw his whole weight behind the sword and drove it to the hilt into the roof of the serpent's mouth. But as warm blood drenched Harry's arms, he felt a searing pain just above his elbow. One long poisonous fang was sinking deeper and deeper into his arm, and it splintered as the basilisk keeled over sideways and fell, twitching to the floor. Harry slid down the wall. He gripped the fang that was spreading poison through his body and wrenched it out of his arm. But he knew it was too late. Now, if you've seen the film, you know that Harry doesn't die, but it's very close. And that helps to make the description more exciting if you've got a death or something that feels like a death at the time.